The new move to shut down the hustler movement once and for all through legal means, that is by introducing a new law. The proposed National Cohesion and Integration Amendment Bill 2021, which is already on the floor of the House, has received a lot of support from most of those in Team Keleweke. And while some Kenyans think it is the right way to go, I don't. It has received opposition from the most unlikely source. Right at the top of the ODM party, which is of course within Team Keleweke. Leading lawyer and Siaya Senator James Orengo has strongly opposed the introduction of this new law, even as his colleagues scream for this law to be passed as soon as possible. Now, the question on the minds of some Kenyans is, what does this mean? Because what Orengo is doing are telltale signs, according to some Kenyans, that he is about to cross the floor and join the hustler nation. It can't be. Well, that is the topic of our show today. And although I can tell you for a fact that James Orengo and William Ruto have been friends in the past, and there's nothing to suggest that they are no longer friends, this is a political issue. Even as Kenyans get very emotional about this politics, this is not personal. It is political. So, what is the true situation? Is Orengo about to join the hustler nation? Well, stay with me and find out the surprising answer. A very warm welcome to my show and enjoy. The proposed National Cohesion and Integration Amendment Bill 2021 has received objections from the most unlikely of quarters. You will find it hard to believe, but one of the people objecting strongly is Siaya Senator and leading ODM light, James Orengo. Orengo says the attempt to criminalize the hustler slogan is a betrayal of the long struggle to democratize the country called Kenya. He adds that truth is the only remedy to be applied in circumstances where somebody holds an opinion that is contrary. The senator told the House that the hustler narrative falls within the realm of free speech. Now, whatever your views are, you cannot ignore James Orengo, because James Orengo is a lawyer. Not only that, he is one of the leading lawyers in the country. Indeed, he headed the team which made history in 2017, leading to the annulment of the election of President Uhuru Kenyatta. This is not just any other lawyer. And not only that, James Orengo has been in the trenches for years, fighting for a better Kenya, fighting for democratic space in our country. Now, some naive Kenyans may want to believe that James Orengo is about to cross over to the hustler movement, to Team Tanga Tanga. I don't think so. In my opinion, all that he's doing is something that will stand the test of time. You see, the problem we have with our politics is that it is all emotional. It is all knee-jerk reactions and knee-jerk measures based on what is happening currently in our politics. Nobody stops to ask themselves, yes, we're going to deal with this political problem now, but what happens 50 years from now? What are the dangers of somebody else using this law to frustrate the free speech of Kenyans? Down south in South Africa, they introduced apartheid laws to deal with the black community, to ensure that they would never be a threat. Indeed, the sad truth, it became illegal to be a black African in South Africa. But of course, looking back, that did not stand the test of time. Political challenges, political opposition, political problems require political solutions and not legal ones. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm one of those people who believe that the hustler narrative is dangerous for our country. And there's something many Kenyans don't realize, even as they continue to promote the hustler narrative. They don't realize that history tells us that the people who will bear the brunt when things go wrong are not those big people, the leaders whose narrative we are so eager to echo and repeat out there. No, those people are safe. They have bodyguards. They live in heavily fortified residential houses. Nothing will happen to them. The people who will bear the brunt are ordinary Kenyans. For instance, you could be employed as a driver, and you're driving around, and you tend to dress smartly. And then you encounter this crowd who are after dynasties, and you end up being a victim. While your boss, the real dynasty, is safely in his office or in his home. And he always travels around with an armed bodyguard or two, so he's safe. The only time when you're vulnerable is when he's out of the vehicle, because you won't have any bodyguard. You will be all alone. It is very sad that many of us never try to think beyond our noses. So I'm one of those people who believes this narrative is dangerous. However, I would never support a law to criminalize it. How? How do you criminalize free speech? And an even bigger tragedy is that if this law is somehow passed, someday in the future, in the days of my children or my grandchildren, somebody will suffer. Kenyans will suffer when somebody quickly applies this same law to deal with free speech, which is a God-given right. It's a human right. In any movement, in any center of power, you'll always have sycophants. People who are more than eager to please their bosses without considering the consequences of what they're proposing. I believe that this is the initiative of sycophants within Team Keleweke. And although sometimes it is very difficult to have the courage to burst the bubble of your loud sycophants, I believe this is one case where the handshake principles must come in and put their foot down and say no. Especially for the sake of future generations, no. This is definitely not the way to go. I believe these remarks by Senator James Orengo on the floor of the House confirm that even Raila Odinga would never support such a bill. We all know that Senator James Orengo is very close to Raila, one of his closest allies, for a very long time. And some say Raila's heir in the ODM party. And therefore it's doubtful, that he would be so loud and so clear against this bill if Raila was supporting it. Now, if you've enjoyed this video, please remember to give me a like. And if you haven't subscribed, I suggest that you seriously consider doing so. Until next time, this is Chris Kumekucha.